Can you hear me? Bum ba dum bum bum ba dum bum now now. Having some seaweed. Hey,
Hey, David.
how you doing? Can't believe I made it on time. Lord help.
Cool.
Yeah. Um, I'm trying to get my artificial participant started so I can see what I'm delivering. Um, and I'm trying to get word from Ace. Oh, there he is. Hey man.
Hey,
So I watched your man yesterday. What is that? Um, I went on. He had like an 8 hour stream, and I was watching that. I'm glad. Ooh, but he's a music guy, right?
yeah, he from New York.
He's from New York, and he does some kind of some hip hop, right, or something like that. Because I saw him, he was going to Japan and stuff. I was like, whoa, world traveler. Can you hear me?
Yes.
All right, all right. So there's a couple of different things that I can do. Yeah, one of the things, like say for example, I've got this frame around my webcam, you see, and it's got the live thing on it, and it's animated. I could talk about how you do that. Also, I noticed that the guy that you watch has a chat overlay, and I've seen that done. I've done it myself. So I could go into how you do some overlays using a service called Stream Elements. But I want to make sure you feel confident about what we have so far, what you've learned.
Yeah, I feel good about it.
Okay,
Me
okay,
too.
all right, all right. So let's see how much we can do. Now I realized yesterday. I want to. Oh, wait a second. My person is not. Let me make my person join here. Um, and okay, that looks like okay. I'm trying to see if my layout is going to come through, and if so, what does it look like? Okay. All right. So it is coming through, and what I am going to do is I'm going to move my OBS into my layout here, and I'm going to turn on my magnifier, and we're going to look at a couple of things. Um, you get the magnifier up
Oh,
and do a little bit of enlargement here. And well, the first thing, quite simply, this when you see gamers, right, and they have some kind of, you see it's got some kind of a electrical spark field or something like that, right? But then it's animated. You see my webcam frame.
yes.
All right, now this is done with it's really a media file, and it's a new media kind of relatively new kind of media file called WebM. So the extension is WEBM, It's much more efficient than animated GIF, and really, it's like a video file, but it has what's called an alpha channel in it. So I can cut this out with an image editor. Let me. I'm just checking to see how that's looking on my screen over there, so you can see that pretty well. All right. Hey, Sadia, you can see somebody has come on my chat there. Sadia, are you here? This is my OBS class where I'm teaching about streaming. Let's see, 302. Are you still there? I didn't see your message for several minutes, but the next thing is I noticed that your the guy that you're watching, he has what's called a chat overlay, right? Which you can see here. Can you see this on the right? These are people that were chatting on my stream this morning, right? This is a new Mech Arena player, Aaron Yeager. You see these names? Is someone who comes in and likes to watch the gameplay and observe. And then DD Hellraiser is actually he's an Israeli guy. He's disabled, and he's a really, really good player. And he comes on. So I was ending my stream this morning. You can see he was like, I was like, well, my wife wants me to take her to work, so I'm gonna need to get off. And he's like, take your wife to work. I was like, okay, right. So, but you see here, Sadia.
I'm coming with y'all.
I want to make sure this is showing.
Says who?
Your mic's open. You getting confrontational? Tell me what to do. Who says who? That's what I like about it. Okay. So you can see my thing. You see Sadia at 302 said hello, and then you see here on my layout, you can see she said hey, and there is her message. I'm wondering if she's still there. But, okay, let me go up and make sure that this is clear. What we're seeing here, this chat, is coming to OBS via the dock, but how? How does it connect to OBS? Well, what happens is, when I connect OBS to my streaming service, like if it's set up to stream directly to YouTube, directly to Facebook, directly to Twitch, there'll be some way to get live chat for that, like the temple setup that we have over here in Snellville. They get live comments via their YouTube setup, and they use StreamStop or some kind of, it's actually a paid service. But the reason this chat is appearing here on the side is because that's a dock. And if you remember yesterday, let me go over to the docks, right? This is the docks that I had open, that I have on my layout. I can open more docks, but these I don't use enough to really want to have them taking up screen space. But that chat that you see over there, you see it's just like an embedded window. Does everybody see that? Okay, so what we can do, while I'm here, I'm going to talk about one more thing, and then we're going to go to Stream Elements. And this is where we were yesterday. I wanted to go into settings and talk about your video settings. Still do, but the first thing I said is here. What happens here if you click on this show recordings is it's going to open your video folder. It's going to open your videos folder for Windows 10, right? And bring it up like in an Explorer, right? But this is something different. Remux recordings. And I was pretty impressed with Remux. I was like, wow, this really is fast encoding, but there's not that much to it. So what is Remux recordings? Well, a video, when I record a live stream, when I record it, right, there's different formats, and what happens with a format is there's something called a codec, and that means in order to optimize the video for delivery, it's encoded, which streamlines it. Then you deliver it and decode it, and this puts some of the burden of showing a big video. It distributes it instead of just putting it on the pipe that you're delivering it on. So by default, OBS Studio encodes to MKV, which is more suitable for live streaming than MPEG. All right, now you may not know what MPEG is, but does everybody knows what an MP3 is? Know what an MP3 is? Or an MPEG 4?
Yes.
You know what that is. Ace, do you know what that is? Sometimes you will download a movie, right? And it will have an extension that has MP something, right? And that is encoding. So OBS, when you record files on OBS, it's going to do the MKV format. And Remux Recordings allows you to take that if you need MPEG 4s and change it to an MPEG 4 format. And what you do is this. You select the Remux thing. Let's see how I'm doing here. Okay. And then you can go hit this, and there'll be an OBS recording. You can see these are all MKV video files in my video folder. These are all my streams that I've recorded before, and I can convert them to MPEG 4 format after the fact if I need that. Now, personally, well, I'll tell you, Streamlabs has some stream reliability issues, but Streamlabs, I'm pretty sure, yeah, by default just encodes directly to MPEG 4. Now, you should see, it's like, okay, I want to simplify this as much as possible and say as little as possible about the problem. This is the problem if you're encoding to MPEG 4 by default. Ready? This is the big thing, the big takeaway from this. If you're on Streamlabs and it encodes to MPEG 4 by default, and there's a lightning and the power goes off, your video probably is unrecoverable because it's because of the MPEG 4 finishing process, and the fact that MPEG 4 is using some things to make the video more efficient. Here's another example. If you're encoding by default to MPEG 4 format and the hard drive on the computer fills up, you'll get a warning. Oh, your hard drive is running out of space, right? But then when you go to look at the video in Streamlabs, it's not going to show video, right? You're not going to be able to open it. Now, it could be that there's some kind of way to recover a bad MPEG 4 file. I messed with it a little bit and I was unsuccessful. I had a file. I was like, oh, well, dang, I'd like to recover that because it was a big, long stream, 4 hours long. I lost the video because the hard drive filled up and it was on Streamlabs and it was MPEG 4. I messed with it for a little while, and I still think it might be possible to recover that, but Streamlabs by default just encodes to MKV and doesn't have that problem, right? If you fill up the hard drive or whatever, the MKV file is generally not corrupted. It's just like, okay, I ran out of space, and it stops, and you have a good file there, whereas MPEG 4 doesn't. Now, so if I had to choose, I would go with OBS default setting of MKV. And I would think, this is the last thing I'm going to say about this, I would think if I was going to encode to MPEG 4, the file would get smaller. Well, this Remux on OBS works extremely fast, really fast. I was very impressed with how fast I could re-encode a video file to MPEG 4. You can do it, but there's no size reduction, right? And essentially, I think what it's doing is it's reading the whole file, making an MPEG 4 wrapper for it, and not really doing much with the encoding that dramatically affects the video in any way at all. So to me, I'm still scratching my head. Why would I want if I can just put an MKV file? If I wanted MPEG 4, I could just upload it to Google and have Google do my encoding. Do you understand that? Right? In other words, Ace, you may not realize this yet, but if you got a video file and you're trying to deliver it as a movie or whatever, it has to be prepared for its final format, right? So when you upload a video to YouTube, for example, at the outset, it starts encoding the video in the different formats up to the top resolution of the source video. If you send up 1080p, which is like your HD TV level of resolution, if you send that up, it's going to first encode it to 360, and when that's done, it's going to start encoding it to 720, and then when that's done, it's going to encode it to 1080, which is like your television size. Does that make sense, Ken?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So think about this. If you need an MPEG 4 and you need presumably you want some size advantage. Like you've got an MKV and it's 49 gigs. You want a much smaller MPEG 4 file. You want compression to take place. You want to do that on your computer, that's going to tie your computer up. And I've had no problem with just taking my fat ass video, excuse my language, my however many gigs video, and shooting it up to Google and let Google, dang free thing, encode it, and then going back down and using Video Download Helper to grab the MPEG 4 from the server if I want it, if I want to keep a personal copy of it. Got it?
So how do you
We got it.
download it from Google?
How do you download it? I use a Firefox add-on called... First of all, I usually don't try to download from a video from YouTube with Chrome because it's the same company, right? And Chrome endeavors, there's ways you can mess with it, and people tell me that they make YouTube videos saying that you can download it with Chrome, right, with doing certain things. But I just go on Firefox and I put Video Download Helper, and then I can just download a video. Let me see if I can get an example here. Like
because YouTube wants you to pay for the privilege of downloading your video.
Don't do that, man. If you're playing a video,
Oh, I know, and that's what I'm saying. I used to have a screen capture program or a program that would download that, and it doesn't work anymore. So I don't know.
Okay, well, I'll show you something right now that works. By the way, Sinead O'Connor.
God, yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, I was sad about that. Let me see what you can see there. Okay, I'm gonna have to get this into some kind of a window in order to. Okay, so what I'm showing here is here's a singing lessons video for me to practice my singing, right? And I want to have it for offline. It's on YouTube, right? So I have added an extension, and this is the extensions button. I'm trying to look. You see where my mouse is, right?
Yes.
This is the extensions button for Firefox, the latest version. All right. So I hit this, and I've got the video downloader extension there installed. And how to sing better instantly, right? I can see ADP and MKV and MPEG-4, and I really just want the MPEG-4 1280 by 720. So I'm gonna hit that. Actually, am I actually downloading it? I don't know. Oh no, this is another song that I'm getting there. I don't want that either. Oh, I gotta get this back over here. Let me go back, and I'm gonna hit this download there. Ooh, that's cool. All right. So anyway, that will download that. The ADP has to use another app, and when you install Video Download Helper and you try to download ADP format, it's going to say you use this external thing to get ADP, and if you don't buy that, it's going to put a watermark on your video, which is an advertising QR code, right? So that's a drawback, but it's the other formats you can get that without paying for anything. All right, now let me see. I want to. I want to look at time here. 3:21, and the next. I tell you what, I'm going to try to do something quick, but I want to make sure that one person in this room in particular is paying close attention to me. Ace, can you hear me? Hello, hello.
He's muted, so.
Yeah. I want to... Well, I'm just going to test and see if I can do this quick. All right, file, settings. All right. I hit my settings thing. And here it comes. Oops. If it didn't break. Well, if I crash OBS, I guess I'm going to be on Stream Elements without a doubt. I'm going to be in trouble. Let me get here and see if I can see my settings. Also, I can go to settings down here. You see this button?
Yes.
Under here. And also, studio mode allows me... It's like that's the thing. I was like, how did Ace get up in that layout? That's where you can control transitions like a video transition thing between your scenes. Okay, so here's my settings window. So everybody see that? All right, video. So I'm just trying to do this quick. All right, your you see this base canvas resolution 1920 by 1080?
Yes.
I stick both of these to 1080 because I want 1080p in my dang recording, period. Because I'm using that screen space to have like a comic book and different videos and text and then again, I've got so much going on there. I don't want to downsize it. You understand my motivation?
Yes.
But what you can do to enhance your performance is lower this, like in the case of Ace. And Ace, I hope you're hearing this. right? I went into OBS Studio settings and I went to the video option, and the canvas can be set here, the size of it. And that's all I want to talk about. That means that you can set yours lower to get your video to go across Google Classroom looking better, and so on. All right, so then I'm going to close out of this, and then I'm going to go and look at, let me bring my magnifier down here, back to 100%. And I'm looking at my screen to see what I'm delivering. Looks pretty clear. Now,
Quick question about that screen resolution.
yeah,
I mean, I'm into my video settings, and do you have any idea what my video settings are defaulted at?
No, I don't. But it probably, like, one of the things, there's an argument that says, like, and it's like I was reading the article and I was like, wait a minute, are they saying, it's like, they were like, you don't need to be streaming dang 7. And I was like reading the article and I was like, I got to do something else, and I'm not sure I'm getting what this guy is saying, and I dropped it. But I noticed that yeah, if you go back onto my early streams, I just set it up. I didn't touch it, and it picked up one of my monitor screen resolutions, and it was not a desirable outcome for me. But I was like, I'm learning all this new stuff. I'm very busy, and I'm just going to let that ride for a while. I'm going to look at it when I get to it. Right. So I think what I stopped reading the guy is, like, I was thinking he was kind of getting to a thing of like, man, people got their game up there, and people are watching on the dang smartphone. They don't need dang 1080p, or you don't need to be streaming that. You're going to be glad that you're and I've seen it where I'll set it up on a computer, and it will default to 720 on the scaled resolution. In other words, it's scaling it down to make it perform better.
Well, I guess what I'm saying is, and I guess, and I don't know if this came from the monitor or when I drug one of my 360 videos into the window. But my current, and of course I'm not recording anything, my current canvas resolution is 7680 by 3840.
That's because you got that. See, it picked up your base canvas resolution is your dang monitor, right? It's your whole screen. So if you're and so here's okay, now that I think of that, oh yeah, the reality of that, you dang well want to have your scale resolution down from that, right? I would think. Maybe not in the future. In the future, maybe. And I was talking with a real high-end computer guy that I used to work with, Tom Stratton, and I was going, this whole thing of 4K on the desktop or whatever, or 8K on the desktop is starting to become, I said it's starting to become a norm. And he was working in it with a company. He was like, no, it already is a norm, man. I got people with 8K desktops all over the place.
Right.
So that's something to bear in mind. And to me, you and I, Ken, we can remember when 640 by 480 was like, wow.
I understand. Well, 480, that's 480 is like standard definition video.
Yeah.
That,
Yeah. That's what it's a
And,
top end,
and I mean, you were buying like $1,000 video capture cards to get that. And,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
nowadays, I mean, anyway, yeah, I mean,
If you try
technology.
to, this is the thing. Chris, my a guy, my guitar buddy, he works with some big computer company now, but he was at CNN for many years, and he was talking about, wow, he was there on the cusp of the deployment of all the HD technology and the all the stuff like that. And then he was like, man, down at CNN we had so much of the 640 by 480 crap, and it's like we're like,
Are you talking about video content that they?
yeah, yeah, and I knew another guy, Sam, that had that Backstreet Video store in Little Five Points. I don't know if you remember him, but eventually, he was going out of business, and he got a job at CNN where they were like, we've got to take our entire, they were like looking at all of CNN's library. They had this massive library of beta and VHS tape.
I understand, yeah.
And that's what he was hired to do. They were like, we've got to digitize this stuff. This stuff is, it's going to be, it's going to be dang garbage. All these tapes or whatever, they're going to shit. They're just, excuse my language, they're deteriorating really rapidly, right? So they were hiring full-time people to go in there and sit in there all day converting these tapes. And of course, all the dang tapes, I guess, just got thrown into a landfill somewhere.
Right.
Um,
Looks like we lost Ace.
yeah, well, maybe he's got something going on, but he's got some siblings there in the house that maybe. Um, but yeah, so back to that. If you're experiencing some kind of performance issue, like if you experiment with some live stream, and I would be interested to hear from you. Like if you've got, I guess you've got AT&T standard 1,000 up, 1,000 down. So theoretically, you should be able to stream. And I'm like, wow, can you actually stream 4K? I wonder.
No, no, I mean, I have Xfinity, but I mean, the long and the short of it is, I mean, I can see the advantage of having like a screen capture at that resolution, especially if you're gonna put that footage in like something else and edit it.
Right. Oh,
But
it's
yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, it all comes down to storage and all that other stuff. So, I mean,
yeah.
what I was thinking about the other day, like looking at what was going on with the other guy and all this other stuff, and in other words, what I'm looking at is like on my screen right there, like pick any one of those like 360-degree panoramas.
Mm-hmm.
In other words, what I could do is like do a show or whatever on one of those. I mean, make it as large as you can on the screen, and basically use OBS as a format to say, okay, here's what. In other words, instead of just posting that on YouTube, I could basically go in and create something on inside OBS, and I don't know if Twix, in Twitter they actually have storage capabilities where you can post stuff and it stay there. But in other words, use that as a display format and then also the storage format.
In answer to your question, or you said you don't know, Twitch gives you a week. They used to give you like 2 weeks. So your stream goes out and it stays on Twitch for 2 weeks, right? And then
Right.
then it's deleted, right? So I don't know if I know the best way to do this, but really, if you're going to use the export function, you set up your connection of your Twitch to YouTube. This is what I've done on my stream, and you have to go. And I'll let me see if I can bring this up. right quick so you'll be able to see it. Okay, I got my stream elements. I need this because I was going to look at overlays here. But
So Stream Elements is a different OBS type software.
no, all Stream Elements does is gives you some way to use the browser source in OBS to deliver kinds of overlays to give you some really fancy, advanced looking layouts. And I'll demonstrate some more with that in a minute. But I don't know if it's the be all end all best way, but it allows me to take something that's being delivered to OBS that's on Twitch, and get it from Twitch and deliver it in real time to my stream. All right, so I'm trying to remember what I was doing. I wanted to show the Twitch video producer page. All right, so here's the video producer page. And I'm gonna magnify a little bit. So if you here's my stream from earlier today, this morning, and I can go over here to highlight and click. And I've got some options. I can edit it, add to something, download, highlight, watch, export. Export is what I want to do. See that? And I can deliver, it's probably a good idea, if I had Notepad or something like that with more information in this. But me, I'm like, I get big chunks of stuff done, and then I go back and add detail later. So I just go to export to YouTube, I make it public, and then I hit start export. I try to make sure that I don't export twice, because, okay, if you have a video on your machine, and you upload it to YouTube from your computer, and it's the same video, you start uploading the same video again, YouTube will detect it and go, we're not going to process this because it's already on our server. You got me?
Gotcha. Yeah.
But if you go this start export, right, and you export the same video twice to YouTube, it doesn't detect it, and I don't know why, but that means that you can send duplicates, and that's a when I've got something like 600 streams out there, right? So I'm trying to make a religion out of every time I get done with my stream to start the export. But today I'm pretty sure I did not, because my wife interrupted me. There's a little like lizard that has got into my room. Well, he's like on the, somehow he got in through the window, and he's I have this cloth curtain, and I can see his silhouette. It's like a cool little lizard, like a gecko or something like that.
Right. Probably a chameleon.
Yeah.
Of course, here's the question. You say you have 600 streams.
Yeah.
All those are on YouTube.
Right. Because they're not they'll get just deleted if I just leave them up here.
That's on Twitch, but I guess what I'm saying is on YouTube, is there a storage space limitation?
No. No,
Okay.
no.
I mean, they're getting free content that they're charging advertising for.
Yeah.
I mean, that was, I mean, when they came up with that strategy, it was kind of like, oh, we'll give you free server space. I mean, it says, wow, you got the entire world generating free content for them.
Right, right. And let's see. So this is my channel, my YouTube channel for the Real Mystic Mask, the channel content, and I can sort it by views. This channel was established in 2017, and I made one video, right? Then I didn't do anything else with it. I worked on the other one. Now, this stream that I have currently going now is I wish I could do statistical analysis on it, but a lot of my streams, there's a big bulk of them kind of that are mid-range that have about 15 views on them, and then the top viewed ones are the this is like the most viewed, and it's 67 views. So I got a long way to go, man. I really do. But if you don't do it, you're certainly not eventually going to get views.
Well, when they look at your channel statistics, do they look at cumulative views of all your videos, or is it, individual videos? In other words,
And by video, each video is like how they look to the best of my memory, and there's a lot of detailed statistics that they give, but the fundamental thing is like what video was viewed and how long was it viewed when they opened it. How long did they watch it?
yeah, if you got an hour video and everyone clicked out of it after 5 minutes, it's like, yeah.
Yeah, you've got something to measure there, which is it's not like they're sticking right on the whole thing the whole time. But I don't know if you looked at Ace's guy, but that's here, and there are multiple people like this on Twitch where you open it up and you're like, why would anybody watch this guy? Right? He's not funny. He's playing a game, and he's
Right.
got 6,000 people watching him. Well, he's built up an audience over a long time, and it's the same. I was looking at the thing that Ace was liking to watch, and a lot of what the guy streamed, it was bleeped out. It was because it was copyright, and I couldn't. I was trying to watch it for a long time.
Well, what does YouTube automatically do that, or did he have to do that? So, in other words, it's like I shot the fireworks at Stone Mountain Park on the
Right.
4th of July,
Right.
and of course they're playing like music. And so, if I posted that video on,
I didn't understand what you were asking. No, the server detects. It has an automated detection, which is not necessarily right, or whatever, and it's all automated. So, for example, I had a demo reel, and I took some Brazilian music in the public domain by Xavier Cugat as music for it, and I edited it and I put the music to it or whatever, because I had a specific thing that was like, yeah, this is free, no copyright on this, it's over a half a century old, right? And then I put it on YouTube, and they're like, "Nope, we bleeped out the sound because it's somebody made a copyright claim." So if I have to go and dispute that, right? This is another thing. Popeye, the 1938 Popeye series that was done around the Arabian Nights, Aladdin's Wonderful Lamp, Sinbad the Sailor, and Abu Hassan and his 40 Thieves. These real high-end production Fleischer Studios cartoons are in the public domain. But Aladdin and his Wonderful Lamp was scenes from it were put into something that somehow they managed to copyright. And if you try to run Aladdin's Wonderful Lamp on YouTube, it cuts out your sound. Also, Xavier Cugat was cut out. Somebody made has had a copyright claim set up on it, and presumably, it's like you have to dispute that, and maybe they're saying, well, we re-encoded it, or we did a remaster of it, and then you guys prove that yours is not the remaster, or I don't know how that works, but generally,
I know there was an issue years ago where someone had gotten like stereo images that like from the Smithsonian that were in like public domain and everything. And someone had gone in and in Photoshop basically cleaned it up. And then they were claiming copyright. And so anyway, it's one of those things that, I know there's quote unquote fair use, laws and stuff like that. But yeah, it's like, it seems like anyone can come up and say, oh, I have a copyright to that. And until you challenge it, Google by default just says, oh, well, you sort that out.
Archive.org, I've seen a lot of online chatter with a lot of complaints against Archive about, in particular, Warren comic books. If you remember when we were little, Warren had Rook, they had 1984, they had Creepy magazine and Eerie magazine, and these things also, they weren't called comics, they were called magazines,
right?
And I think that was part of, they were not comic code or something like that. So all that stuff is arguably in the public domain. So all the Warren stuff is on Archive, and you can just download it all day long. And I saw some people really complaining that, and I think what it was is they're like, we still make money selling these comic books, or these old, and if you just make it where everybody can download it, it's ruining us.
Right.
I'm like, I really don't care. And this goes back, and I'll say this again. I was at SIGGRAPH many years ago, and they had this big thing. It was like a big group of very high-end lawyers, and they came out to talk about digital property and intellectual, MP3s, right, and so on. And a lot of corporate people came in to the conference room, and the lawyers were like, the government should not be in the business of propping up your failed business plan. And everybody was like, there's a lot of murmur. They were like, people were like, and the guy said it like this. And I don't know if I told you this story before. He was like, It's like, say you sell bottled water, right?
Right.
And that's your business, right? And then people are going around and they're doing rainwater collection and distilling their own water, and you're saying it's the government's job to stop them from doing that because something that's falling out of the sky, right? And what they made the equivalency to, which I think was a very, I'm very sensitive about, is it a false equivalency or not? But if an MP3 is on the Ethernet, the little packets, of data, and you can download it with peer-to-peer file sharing, it is like raindrops. It's just falling through the internet like raindrops. And people just put a bucket out there and they collect it and drink it. They listen to it, right?
Right.
And the guy said, and everybody was pissed off, and he said, look, your problem, and they're talking about China and all this stuff like this, and they said, look, you want to sell DVDs in China, you're not going to sell them for $20 a piece, right? Because people simply do not have that money. They don't have that much money. What you need to do is make a DVD that it's not worth it. You need to figure out how do they get the pirated DVD, right? Which is somebody downloads it with peer-to-peer file sharing, and they burn a DVD and they sell it on the street corner, right?
Right.
And you have to make your DVD cheap enough
that it's not profitable for them to pirate it.
They can get an official DVD, an official quality assured DVD from you at a comparable price to what the street vendor is selling it for, where he's gone to the store and he got a DVD burner, right? And he's just burning the DVDs. He got a scanner and he scanned the label to the DVD. He bought a bunch of cases and he just slips it together, right? And what ended up happening, and they settled on this, was like 5 yuan was what they ended up. This was years later. They didn't do it for years. But when DVDs, official DVDs, when I was in China and they really started selling, they had settled on a price of about 5 to 10 yuan per piece, which is like about $1.
Right.
Right. And then people could buy it, and then they sold millions of DVDs. Right. And the lawyers were saying, look, if they can pirate it easier, you need to make a product that offers something to them to fulfill a need. Right. If you cannot do that, you're not going to have a business. And the government, is supposed to do things like provide for a fire department and a post office and stuff. It's not supposed to go around and arrest people for downloading, for catching rainwater, right?
Right.
But I mean, it is a debate. I mean, I saw Gwinnett County has a rain barrel labeling thing, and I was at this rain barrel at the garden up at the temple, and it was like, you have to swear that this is, hold on. Come here. Oh, hold on. It's Cookie Swirl. Yay. Okay, are you still there?
Yeah, I'm here. So you have to swear what?
No, it was like this. It's not swear. It's something like this.
Affirm.
This water is not to be used for gardens and stuff that people are going to eat. For watering food that people are going to eat, and it's like what we've come to, right?
But what was this on? This was on what?
It was on a rain barrel. Right? So here's a garden, right? Little herb garden at the temple, right? And they got a rain barrel and they put it out there, and the county's got a sticker on it that says that I mean, that's what they're doing with it. They're watering the garden with it. But the label says it can't be water and stuff that people are going to eat.
Well, is that because something toxic was stored in that barrel originally?
No, it's not, it's not because it's like a thing. It's not the barrel itself, because you can get the food safe stuff, and I think there's probably some legal argument that I don't know the full thing of, but it's they got the rain barrel specifically as a rain barrel to water the garden, and it says you can't do that on the label. And I'm like, that's like one of those things of like, yeah, we're the county, and we clean the water up for your faucet at your house. So if you're going to water your garden, you have to use it from the faucet, from what the water the county provided. You can't collect.
Yeah, that's BS. Well, and the thing with the county, it's like I know this was happening in DeKalb County. They
Just
were
one
getting
moment.
dinged. Go ahead.
Hey, Barry, I see somebody has come on the stream. You're going to Wisconsin. Barry's moving to Wisconsin. Wow. That's exciting. I love Wisconsin. It's cold though. You're down south, aren't you? It's like almost it's hot where you are. It's cold up there in Wisconsin. But it's good to move now with the global warming coming. So go ahead, Ken. What were you going to say? I just want to.
No, in DeKalb County, it's like they were getting dinged on their water purification because they were testing for a certain chemical that exceeded government guidelines. So the county, they had done all these things and they couldn't, get it within range. And so to fall within government guidelines of that chemical, what they did is they just quit testing for it. And so they said, oh, our water meets federal guidelines. But what the deal was is everything was written so that they didn't have to test for that. So the chemical was still there. It's just that they didn't test and then report its presence.
Right. And this
so
is,
it's all BS.
And this is the thing too, Ken. I'm distilling all my water myself now. The godparents or whatever, they insist on getting water in these big plastic containers, and I'm like, well, at least I could stop the plastic from getting thrown away and just store my water. And
right.
it's made me have to think about a life where that would be a necessity for survival. And there are ways to do like solar distillers and stuff like that. I've got two distillers over here that for my I guess you look at how much water you need, and if your distiller can exceed that, yeah, that's good. But the thing is I had some Walmart water. It's supposed to be distilled water, and I got the test strip, and I tried to show my wife this. I was like, look, here's a chemical test strip. This is supposed to be distilled water, and look at the color, right? It's got all kind of stuff in it. And I mean, that doesn't.
One of the biggest problems was that, and this is our politicians, it's like spring water. Used to be spring water had to literally bubble out of the ground by, its own force. And then the politicians got paid off. And then, all of a sudden it can be called spring water that comes out of a well. And then all of a sudden it was like, oh, well, we can just go over to the local city, tap and just pour it into a bottle and bottle it, and we can call that spring water. So yeah, it's anyway.
And my wife is concerned that, and I can't, she doesn't really have. She's not very educated, but I'm like, look, you can look in the distiller, and see that there's crap in the water.
Right.
And she's like, there's crap in the water. You know, she doesn't get that what she's seeing in the bottom of the distiller is the stuff that is not in my drinking water, because I turned it into a
You just
vapor.
filled it out. Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, I can't. Yeah, I'm still working with that. But that's life. But anyway, we'll get back together again. What is today? We're on tomorrow, right?
Yeah, tomorrow's Friday.
All right, cool. And then we'll go more into these the what is it, your overlays with stream elements and some more of the OBS settings.
Cool.
All right, so I'll see you then, and thanks for tuning in. For those of you that are watching the stream, hope you enjoyed it. All right, let me see. Barry, I'm trying to get to where I can answer you, and I bet you're already gone. Let's see, but okay. That meeting ended. There's OBS Studio. Okay. Okay, I'm going to call him on Discord later. All right, so thanks for tuning in, and until next time, it's not going to be next time. Is Sadia there? Sadia, if you're there, answer. I'm about to sign off. Thanks for tuning in. Take care.